Hello and welcome to episode 968 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, June 17th, 2025. I'm your host, Chris Johnson. With me as always from Canada, Mr. Greg Seward.
Hey, hello there, boy. How are you?
That's a good Greg impression there.
Thank you very much.
Greg has left his seat. He was all like, start the show.
Everybody, we got to start the show.
We got to
And then I'm
start
gonna
it.
get up and walk away. We're live. Greg, say hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah? I'm good. Feeling good. And joining me from the great state of Washington. That was not my Homer. Phil Theobald, hi.
Hello. How's it going?
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Me too.
I'm doing great.
That makes three of us doing great, right? High five all around. High fives.
Nope.
No.
No, you and this interactive high five in the screen thing. I don't.
It's a thing, right?
Is this like
Come
a Mr.
on.
Beast thing?
No.
You get the
I've
beard,
never
you get
watched
these
anything
novelty
that-
caps, suddenly you're
I've
Johnny.
never watched any Mr. Beast content.
That's not true.
I've never.
I don't believe that for a
Not-
second.
Not a single YouTube minute.
I watched a single Mr. Beast video once just to see what all the hubbub was about.
Yeah.
And then I decided that Mr. Beast
like,
is
nope.
not for me.
I see.
Yeah.
No.
It was a video where he was the gimmick was that he was going to create like a big domino thing. And the final domino would be this gigantic domino that would crush like an abandoned building or something.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, you know what? That sounds interesting. That sounds like it could be amusing to watch.
Uh-huh.
And it was just him running around going, rah, rah, doing stupid yelling in faces and stuff for like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, they do it and they don't even like linger on it. I was like, I wanted like the, like a Mythbusters style. Here's the process we went into
Right.
to creating these progressively larger concrete slabs.
Uh-huh.
And there was nothing of that. It was just him and his friends hooting and hollering.
Hmm.
And then the big event is just like almost glossed over. Like that was secondary. That was tertiary to the content of the video. And I was like, you know what? Not for me.
Not for you.
Not for me.
You know that guy who does the package thieves videos? Have you watched that?
Yes, he does. He does like the glitter bomb,
The glitter bombs.
things. Yeah.
I love those videos.
My
and
kid
he
watches
also
those too.
Has done one that's like a chipmunk, or is it chipmunks or squirrels? Like a
Yeah. The
Oh,
squirrel.
those videos are great.
Yeah, where he's like setting up like elaborate courses.
Is that the one where
elaborate
he
courses.
he catches them really high speed so he can sort of and goes
Yeah.
through the physics of how they always land on their feet? Things like that?
exactly?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
I love
fascinating.
that.
Yeah. My kids
Yeah.
and I used to watch those all the time.
Now
Yeah,
that's the
that-
type of YouTube content I can get behind.
Yeah,
because
that
it
guy's much better.
shows you the process, and then you get
Yes.
something out of it. Even
Yeah,
if
it
it's a
was
45-minute video, someone's going to get glitter bomb and stanked up.
I don't care about the
Exactly.
glitter bomb
Also-
thing, but yeah.
Then also the squirrel's going to get their treats.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Uh,
anyway, hey everybody.
a what?
We're live. We're live again. I hope you enjoyed our pre-taped call-in show last week about system
Really-
launches.
Really fantastic timing.
This was great. I actually enjoyed having basically like a week and a half off.
Yeah.
Just scheduling the content and watching it go live instead of dealing with it, which was fantastic. I guess spoiler alert. I was at Summer Game Fest.
But what were you doing there?
Nothing. Just bumming around, saying hi to
you the-
Jeff Grubb.
Were you the make FPS great again guy?
No.
No, that
No, I
wasn't
was not.
Okay.
Thankfully. God. Ugh. No, and hey, if you watched the PlayStation State of Play that happened on
That was the
June
only thing I
4th,
watched.
a little game that I'm working on kicked off the show.
Oh,
You may have noticed. Luminous Arise coming
Oh
from
my
enhanced
goodness.
fall 2025 for PlayStation 5 and PC with optional VR. So if you have that PSVR 2, dust it off. There's something coming for you. Or if you have a
Wow.
compatible
It's quite a sales
PC
pitch.
headset. I know a lot of people are probably getting dusty.
that's a quote from the back of the box.
No, no, not at all. But hey,
Dust
I'm
off.
wearing the Luminous Arise t-shirt.
Oh, look at that.
I'm repping. Yeah.
And it's got a little cat on there, too.
It's got a little cat.
What's with the cat?
Yeah. What's with the cat?
Yeah.
It's one of the stages. The Shinjuku stage in Luminous Arise has a cat that will appear and hop over the blocks that you match and everything. So, but
So
yeah,
you
it was
got-
at summer.
You got the Luminous cat.
Yeah.
You got the Humanity dog.
Yes.
I ship them.
Why not? Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Let's do it.
Is that going to be canon?
Cats and dogs living together. Yeah. Why not?
You heard it here first, folks.
Why not?
The Humanity dog and the Luminous cat canon romantic partners.
Apparently so. Yeah. So that was cool. Hey, kicking off a state of play with a game was really cool. I didn't watch the rest of State of Play because I was too busy. I don't know if you know this. When you announce a game in a presentation like State of Play or a Nintendo Direct or something like that, you spend basically the next hour like putting things live, like websites and social media and
Oh,
all the rest of it, and Steam pages and PlayStation Store pages. So you don't really get to like watch the rest of it.
oh my goodness.
Wherever you're like sandwiched in, that's pretty much it. I
weren't
mean, I
really
did
sandwiched
sort of
in.
like peripherally. I was at the top. I was the bread. We were
You
the
were the bread.
bread.
Yeah.
The bread.
CJ
Yeah.
was a strong top.
Always.
You heard it here first, folks. That's canon.
It's canon. So yeah, it was great. And then went to Summer Game Fest in Los Angeles and the Playdays event, which was also really cool. So it's not E3, but it was fantastic. We had a little pod at the show. We had couches. We had couches so I could sit down and demo the game to people who have played and not played Luminous before. So it was very fun to kind of bring people through how to play. And yeah, it was fun for YouTubers and influencers and other podcasters and video game press was there too. People from
There's still video
IGN
game
and-
press?
There is.
Wow.
Yeah, Shack News and Digital Trend and yeah, a lot of really good folks were there.
Did you,
saw Jeff Grubbs, our good friend Brad from Nextlander as well.
Rudiger?
Rudiger from Vid Games back in the day. So yeah, I saw a lot of great people.
Did you see Mark McDonald? That traitor?
I work with Mark, so yes.
I know you worked with him. That
Yeah.
snake.
That valor stealing.
You're referring to the comment on the Giant Bomb stream.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the
Where he
Chrono
was-
Cross review. But who was
Where
to
he
remember
took
what the
credit.
scores
See,
were?
You're dancing around it. Mark McDonald stole credit for Greg's 9.5 Chrono Cross review.
Which Mark gave Chrono Cross a 10.
Yeah, he
You look
claimed
back
he
at
was
it.
the one.
He said other people gave it a 10. No, he was the one. But
And the
it
ironic
happens.
bit of that is
I
that
don't,
the
I don't
whole
remember
reason,
what I gave Star Fox Adventures. I just know it was lower
I don't remember
than
what I gave most games, but I remember what I gave Chrono Cross thanks to Mark.
I believe you remember what you gave Chrono Cross thanks to the endless abuse that you suffered from readers.
That Mark told people to do.
Exactly.
right.
He wrote in the
told
beginning of the
people to
review
do.
section that it was my fault that game didn't get a platinum and to send hate mail to my email address.
And he
which
published your
which he
email
published.
address.
So that's why
I didn't
to me
realize
it was
that.
that was
Okay.
why it got me so much that he even said that on
Yeah.
on that show, because it's like, but you're like, not only, I mean, You
And now
misremembered
years
it, obviously,
later-
but not
Yeah.
only that, you were the one who told everyone to send me
I mean,
hate
here's
mail.
the thing. We're all getting older and our memories
Oh.
are very, very fuzzy. Anyway,
Never forgive him.
I think you gave Star Fox Adventures a 4.5, CJ.
I'm pretty sure I gave it a 4.5 as well.
Yeah.
And then Luigi's Mansion, I think I gave it either a 9 or an 8.5.
And you probably got yelled at about it, didn't you?
I remember. I think Shu gave Luigi's Mansion a 6.5.
No, I'm pretty sure he gave it closer to a 5.
Really?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, my
possibly.
goodness.
Anyway, who's to know?
Yeah.
There's no compendium on the internet where we can find out
Right.
very quickly.
Exactly.
I don't think that's true anymore.
I don't think that's true either. But hey, so because I was traveling and
Shu gave it a
because
5.5.
Oof.
oh, okay, 5.5, yeah. Because there were a lot of sort of showcases and things happening Summer Game Fest weekend, and hey, I was working that entire time. I didn't watch any of them really. I watched the Xbox conference.
Oh.
I still haven't watched
That's
that.
the only one I caught up on. So, and that had a lot of good stuff, but we're not really gonna talk about any of the showcases or any of the news that's happened. I mean, that's in the past. Let's talk about what happened 2 weeks ago, and that is the Switch 2 launch.
Because of this week off, we are now going to be perpetually one week behind everything.
Yeah, so get ready for that, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tune in next week when we talk about Summer Game Fest and all the presentations.
Whatever happens.
If you
happened
want to
last
talk
week.
about the elderly, you should have called 2 weeks ago.
If you want
Which
to talk
if-
about Summer Game Fest, which we'll be talking about next week, now is the time
Now
to
is
leave
the
your
time to
comments.
call.
Which,
Yeah.
if you watched, or if you looked at the show notes from last week's episode, hopefully you clicked on the pre-taped call-in show, Mr. Show sketch, because it's a classic.
Still one of my favorites.
So very good. But anyway, we should talk about the Switch 2, because that's the thing. I ended up getting mine. So I had planned, since I knew I was traveling, I pre-ordered mine for in-store pickup at Best Buy in LA, and took an Uber from the airport to Best Buy with
Such
my
a nerd.
luggage.
Wow.
And picked it up at in-store pickup, and then got an Uber to my hotel. So that worked out pretty well, actually. I was there at like 4 p.m. No one was there. Well, other people were picking up their Switches still, but it wasn't crowded or anything. So it was very good experience. Yeah.
I ended up getting one from a local listener.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
because I mentioned on the show for weeks that I had put in my email address at nintendo.com for the invitation to buy, which, by the way, I still haven't gotten. And I want to call out too that a good chunk of listeners of our show reached out to say, like, I've got a second pre-order. I happily sell it to you for cost and everything like that. And I really appreciate that. I really do a lot. But also I didn't really want to deal with shipping and then all that. And then I had Michael is his name, who's a local listener. He actually lives like 2 kilometers away from me. Like, we live in the same neighborhood, basically. He reached out and
CJ?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how far away he is?
I have no idea.
Anyway,
He lived next door.
he reached out. He reached out and let me know.
Of the damn continent. I don't know.
He reached out and let me know that he had an extra one, and he ended up selling it to me. So
Cool,
I had
nice.
one like lunch day, basically.
Did you at
which was
least take him out to dinner? I mean, come on. Buy me a Switch? Take you out to dinner?
I mean, I paid for it.
That's
He didn't just give it
just
to me.
out of the soup.
What I'm saying is we have
And
a new
Mendy's.
favorite. What I'm saying is we have a new favorite Mike in Halifax. Is all I'm
A
saying.
new favorite
Well.
mic. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
the gauntlet has been thrown down.
There it is.
Nice.
But anyway,
Nice.
thank you, Mike, for that.
All right.
That's how I got mine.
Cool. And then Phil got his through nefarious means, so we won't.
Yeah, we can't
talk
talk
about
about that.
I ordered one
You ordered mine.
and
from
they brought it to
Nintendo.
work for me.
That's
Sounds
excellent.
shady. Sounds shady.
That's what
So
happens.
anyway-
you work at a company that's partially owned by Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
I find that to be the easiest way to get a new Nintendo system.
The Digimon company?
We should all
That's the one.
remember We should all remember.
You
That's
guys,
how you do it,
you guys
folks.
should have done that.
Should have. Yeah. I did end up getting I ordered one from Nintendo and got them my little GameCube controller for
my little GameCube.
Switch.
My little GameCube.
I love the GameCube controller. It's so
I got one of those as well.
Yes. And let's talk about setup experience, because I initially tried transferring all my stuff from my Switch to my Switch 2. Wait a second. From my Switch to my Switch 2. That's right.
Yes.
But the problem is I have like a 1 terabyte card on my Switch 1.
Yeah.
And I have a 256 gig card for the Switch 2.
Because you need new memory cards for the Switch 2.
You need new memory cards for the Switch 2. And quite frankly, the 1 terabyte one is a little too pricey still.
A little bit.
Yeah. That's assuming you can find it.
If you can find one. That was my bigger problem.
That's also true. So anyway, it started transferring everything, which, by the way, I've been digital all digital the entire time for the Switch 1. So that was a lot of games. And at a certain point, as it was transferring, I was like, I should just stop this immediately, because you can't batch delete things that have not downloaded. So it has to download first before it'll show up in the mass delete menu. It has to have some kind of file size on either your memory card or the system. Yeah,
because when you do the transfer, it's not transferring the data. Basically, it's just transferring the fact that you have the right to download it, which I actually think was a good thing. I mean, what you're describing sucks, but I was happy about it because it got you into actually using the system pretty quick. You had to deal with little notifications popping up every few minutes to tell you that something completed downloading, but other than that, it wasn't too bad.
So what I ended up doing is stopping that process entirely, resetting my system to factory settings.
Wow.
And instead of transferring everything over, I just started from scratch and sort of cherry picked some games to download.
Interesting.
Most of those being games that had some kind of Switch 2 upgrade or reason for me to, maybe I was playing them recently. So, and now I've almost filled my 256 gig
I'm the same.
card.
Yeah, mine's pretty close to full too.
And I'm like, I guess I'll have to clean the fridge often on this until I can get myself a 1 terabyte card once the price goes down a little.
Greg, did you end up having to do a little cherry picking yourself?
No.
Oh, see,
I didn't have enough on my system. Although I did realize, and maybe it was a setting I missed, that it downloaded everything to the memory card and not the system memory. Because when I went and checked my memory status, my system memory is almost empty. But my memory card is pretty full. But no, I didn't have enough on my system to use up the 256 gigs.
I had to do a little cherry picking myself.
Yeah.
DJ, you and I on this Father's Day, are the cherry picking daddies.
Ew.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah.
You waited 2 weeks for this. Think about that. You waited 2 weeks for this.
I did.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the listeners.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those lucky people.
So I had my Mario Kart World. While I was doing all of the setup, I redeemed the Mario Kart World code on my phone. So I had that
but it's for the Switch 2, not your phone.
I know.
Yeah, that's a different Mario Kart.
Yeah,
you've been playing.
There's your problem.
That one's been out for a while.
Oh. Yeah. But then also it put Yakuza 0 and Ridge Racer and Fast Fusion.
I don't think those are available on the phone.
Download queue for the Switch 2 once I started everything up. So everything was good. Yeah. Okay. On hotel Wi-Fi, by the way.
Oof.
So Jesus.
So it was almost midnight by the time Mario Kart World had finished downloading.
Oh my goodness.
So I had stuff to do during the evening hours on Thursdays, so I didn't get to unbox and set up until 9 or 10. And then when I factory reset everything and had to download it again, and it was on hotel Wi-Fi, and yeah, it took a while.
Oh my.
Yeah. But
So okay, what do you think about, like, this is all really fascinating, but what do you think about the system itself? Like,
I like it a lot. It feels like a better Switch.
it's
Like the build quality is
Definitely.
better. Like the Joy-Con, I really like the magnetic snap off. That's cool. Not having to deal with the like putting the rails on correctly or not is great. The Joy-Con straps, if you'll remember.
You know why the Joy-Con straps are still in their little plastic baggies on my desk? I haven't taken those out yet.
Yeah, I haven't taken those for a test drive yet. But I really like the system. I like the screen too. Like, I think it's great. I think the Joy-Con themselves, the ergonomics are not
terrible.
Improved.
No, they are.
I mean, they're improved,
Welcome
but not
Tour
enough.
shows you that they're improved.
They're improved, but not enough.
No, they're not. They're barely improved at all. They're very uncomfortable.
I will be patiently waiting for a Hori split pad Pro for the Switch 2, which hopefully will come soon, but who really knows? Yeah,
I agree. It's I think the screen looks really nice. I know it's not an OLED screen, and some people aren't super happy about that, but I think it looks great.
Me too. I'm happy with the screen.
I agree with the build quality feels better.
Yeah.
You know,
it feels
like when
premium.
Exactly. Like because if you have your original Switch and you kind of just hold both of them, like, not that the original Switch was bad in any way, but it feels light and more like a toy. This feels
definitely.
Yeah, this feels like a premium piece of electronics. So
the stand is better. I ended up using the stand on the plane, which was quite nice. Yeah.
The dock is ridiculous. I hate the way the system sits in the dock.
Why is that?
It's too loose. It makes me feel like it's
too loose.
Yeah. You haven't noticed that?
No.
I have not.
You guys are weird.
But then I don't rattle my system
out of all the people
I've
talked to over the last week or so that own a Switch 2, you're the first two that haven't noticed that the thing sits really loosely in the dock.
I've mostly been playing handheld.
I don't touch it.
This is also true. I set it down and that's it.
Stand by the TV. It's
okay.
It's not.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's not getting jostled.
Thing.
Yeah. The Joy-Con snapping on the system is very satisfying.
Yeah.
Very satisfying snap. I like it. I was doing that a lot while playing, and on Yakuza 0, when you do that,
just constantly just like detaching
just detaching. Yeah, when you do that, Yakuza 0 is like, oh, what controller are you using? Press L and R to confirm. I was like, no, I'm just playing with the Joy-Con.
I just want to play with my magnets.
Yeah.
We need to buy CJ some magnet toys so he doesn't destroy his games.
What do you think of everything making noise on the Switch 2? So unlike the original Switch, like even turning the system on from the dock makes a noise, right?
Didn't the original Switch
navigating the UI all makes a noise? I don't remember it being as
I don't remember that being an issue.
It's not an issue. I'm not saying
but
it's an issue.
What I'm saying is I can't recall that it didn't or did make a noise on the Switch.
Yeah, I think it did make a noise.
I think it's weird that there's no like sound effect or music for this the eShop.
Yeah. The eShop is better, easier to navigate.
It would be hard to be worse.
The eShop is immensely better. Yeah. I am delighted with the
until the point where the developers of AAA Clock are allowed on it. So we'll wait and see. Yeah, Nintendo seems to have done quite a bit to help the eShop.
The thing that got me about the eShop immediately, I mean, obviously it runs better. You know, you can scroll through things at a normal pace now, but I am absolutely delighted that they brought the wish list feature right onto the main menu.
Yes.
Your wish list is no longer hidden away.
Yep.
The second you go into the eShop, you see your wish list. The wish list is on that side menu, but they bring up a little notice that tells you how many of the games on your wish list are currently on sale,
Which I love that too.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is amazing.
fantastic.
And then when you go into the wish list, you can filter to just see the games on sale,
Yeah.
Yes.
which is even better.
That is even better.
I am so happy.
Definitely a
about
huge
that.
improvement.
Much better than using I was using the Nintendo.com for wish list stuff or for any eShop purchases. I always use the web store. So maybe I'll actually start to use the eShop app.
You should.
I should.
It works quite well.
Yeah. What was the first thing you played?
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart. Yeah. Same here.
It's the new Picross game.
Mario Kart.
You asked.
Here's the thing about the Picross series. I suddenly want mouse compatibility and all of that. I don't know if you guys played around. I'm sure you did play around with the mouse control. It's actually better than I thought it was.
I am super impressed by the mouse controller. Like,
yeah, I'm super
can't
impressed
get
with
over
it.
the surfaces it works on.
I know.
Like
the couch, your pants.
your pants.
You see this?
I do see it. You're going to show us off some 3D printing that you
This
did.
is a 3D printed mouse add-on. You click, you just plug your Joy-Con into here.
Yep.
And makes
mouse
the
around.
mouse
That's
really
cool.
ergonomic.
So that's very cool.
Oh my gosh.
And now
It
they're broken.
is
Oh, I thought you dropped.
it is great.
That's cool.
I was playing around with this with Welcome Tour.
Uh-huh.
And it improved my mouse handling exponentially.
Immensely. Mm.
Yeah. I am very pleased.
Yeah.
Again, 3D printer paying for itself. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I particularly want to use mouse controls too much because I'm not going to say that it's super comfortable, but I am really impressed with the tech and how well it works because I didn't expect that.
Yeah. And certainly you see a lot of that in Welcome Tour. They really play that up.
Yeah.
The mouse functionality. Yeah. What else?
Boy, does it suck battery life.
Battery life is not as good as the OG Switch.
I have not played it in handheld.
I don't
that long.
I don't play
it's
it
not as
much, but
Yeah.
I just I have a few times because I also got the new Picross game or a new Picross game. I don't know if it's the one you're talking about.
The
Pixel Museum.
Yeah,
that is the new one.
So I might when I go to bed, I might take the system with me so I can do a puzzle.
Yeah.
Right. And then when I put the thing to sleep, I sort of happen to notice the battery life and I'm just sort of amazed at how much power it's taken. And that game can't be too taxing on the system. So, it's the battery, the battery life on the thing is not amazing.
Yeah.
And also the other thing that I didn't really expect, and the Switch probably did this too, but I happened to, at some point when I've been playing something, I happen to just put my hand above the system, which is where the air is all being circulated out. And boy, was there a lot of hot air coming out of that thing. It gets
the
warm.
system does get hotter
real warm
than the OG Switch did.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So, I'm not saying any of that is a problem. I'm just saying that, it's noticeable. Both of those things are noticeable.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you're at a place where you can plug in if you need to. And the USB being on the top is nice for that, by the way.
That's a nice touch. Yeah.
Definite nice touch. But I did notice that as well.
Apparently I've been hearing too that people using Bluetooth headsets, that there's not a lot of lag.
Oh, that's cool.
In the sound, which is nice.
I haven't tried it. I did hook up a SteelSeries headphone set to the Pro controller and played Mario Kart with some of our listeners on Friday night, and that was really fun.
Nice.
Not using the microphone, yet because there's no voice chat in the game. I haven't had the chance to use game chat yet.
Me neither.
I kind of want to, but I'll have to figure that out at some point. Pro controller. I really like it. I kind of love the Pro controller. It
I haven't
feels
found one yet.
also like an evolution of the one that they made for the Switch, and it's sort of a matte plastic instead of the sort of shinier plastic of the Switch Pro controller, and it feels premium also. And the buttons feel good. I've heard mixed things about the D-pad, but to me, it's been fine so far.
Yeah, I've had no problems with the D-pad.
I'm gonna go ahead and be this guy at Canadian at $110. It better feel premium.
Well, yeah,
That's a lot of money
It
for a
does.
controller.
It
A lot of
does.
money for a controller.
Yes, I agree. The triggers are nice. I haven't had a chance to really use the GR and GL buttons, which are the new buttons on the Pro controller that you can program into whatever button you want them to be. So I haven't had need for that. And usually, even on like the Xbox Elite controller, I never used those like back paddles or
I was
anything
going to
like
say
that.
I've never used
No,
those back buttons.
What ends up happening, like when I had the Xbox Pro controller, I had the back paddles set up and played Sea of Thieves with that. And unfortunately, like if I was in a battle or something, I would squeeze the controller in such a way that it would accidentally press those. So I did some unintentional back touching.
That
And
yeah,
it was just not helpful at all. So
that reminds me of how in Gran Turismo 7, if you race using a controller, when you click the left stick, the headlights on the car will flash. And so we have a few guys in our league that race using controllers, and there's one guy in particular. When you go back and watch the replays, you can tell when he was getting really nervous or trying really hard, because all of a sudden the flashlights on his car will just go crazy.
That's amazing. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I
Did I
didn't
say
pick
the
up
flashlights. The
You
headlights.
said
on his car.
flashlights.
God.
You did say flashlights.
Wow.
I didn't pick up the camera. Anybody pick up the camera?
No.
I did,
Yeah.
but I will admit to having not used it at all yet.
Okay.
So
I am. I'm curious about the camera. I'm curious about game chat as well. Like I heard from people who have used it that it's pretty good. I did try it in Welcome Tour. They do a little thing where they have you try the microphone from across the room, and then you get to hear what it sounds like. So it was very echoey when I tried that. It did pick up my voice pretty okay, but I don't know if I
you
want to
did.
like chat for a whole game like that way.
You got a pretty manly, booming voice there, Johnston. So
Do I?
no.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, but overall, I'm happy with Switch 2. I'm liking the system itself. Build quality is great. Yeah, liking it so far. And you can play games on it too. Yeah. Should we move on to that, or anything more you want to say about the system itself?
I think anything else I don't want to say about the system, we'll probably talk about when we talk about Welcome Tour, because I think all three of us
Well, true.
grabbed Welcome Tour.
Spoiler alert. We all picked up Welcome Tour after saying, nobody's going to pick that
Well,
up.
the show paid for everything else, so I figured I'd grab it so we could talk about it. At the
Well,
very
I mean,
there
I was
you
going to get it regardless. I mean, come on.
I think I said I wasn't going to get it, and then I did.
Yeah.
Then I saw Phil, you had it loaded up, and I saw Greg had it, and I was like, oh, I guess I better get
The
this.
peer
so we can
pressure
all-
works, folks.
I'll talk about it on the show, and I guess $10 isn't that bad when games are $80.
Oh, it's pretty
now.
bad. For what you're
Yeah.
getting, it's still pretty bad. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grumble.
yeah, absolutely. Buckle up. It's coming.
Okay, well, let's get into what we've been playing now. Greg, we'll have you kick it off. Where would you like to start?
Well, I mean, let's just talk about the Switch 2 games
Okay.
for now. So, I mean, obviously the big one is Mario Kart World
Yes.
this week. I mean, or these last 2 weeks, I guess. No, last week and a half. Anyway, yeah, Mario Kart World. What did you? What do you bros think about this? Is it Mario Kart 8 level in your eyes? Is it better? Did it justify the extra dollars on the price tag?
I'll tell you what, Greg.
Uh-oh.
I was very skeptical about Mario Kart. How do you follow up Mario Kart 8, a game that has been
Very good
around
point.
for more than 10 years, and the entirety of the Switch One's life, and it is, the number one game on Switch, despite any sort of Polygon chart that was put out back when the game launched on Wii U. Look at it now. Look at Mario Kart 8 now. But I'm pleasantly surprised by it. I'm like super positive on it in terms of I love all the tracks that I've played. I love all the new power-ups. I love the 24 racers on each track. I love Knockout Tour. There's so much to love about it. I mean, there's free roam also, which, to be fair, like a lot of people are sort of crapping on free roam as
I'm about to, but go ahead.
It doesn't feel like there's any real life to the tracks or the areas that you're in, and I totally agree with that. But I'm not really there for free roam. I'm there for the racing, and if I'm in free roam, I'm like just tootling around off the title screen, and I'm getting ready to do something else in the game anyway. I'm not like focused on free roam. I don't think I'll really do many of the P-Switch challenges. I did a couple.
I've done actually a pretty decent number of those.
They're they're fun. They are fun. Yeah. I wish there was a way to just do those and not not have to drive around to find them. But because there isn't really anything tied to doing them, I mean, there's stickers and that's cool. I'm not feeling like I'm missing out on anything there. And the rest of the game, Knockout Tour and the racing is so good that I'm fine with free roam being what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mostly agree with pretty much what you said there. Free roam feels, I went in and played around with it for a little while and it's just like, I probably won't do this again. There's nothing about that really appeals to me, but the racing is really good. I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, and I know there are Double Dash people out there as well, but I kind of consider Mario Kart 8 to be like the pinnacle
best
of the series. It's a masterpiece as far as I'm concerned.
Totally agree.
So I was the same as you. I was pretty skeptical. Not skeptical. I wondered if it would be better, and I kind of had set myself up to expect that it wouldn't be, but not to say that I thought it was going to be a bad game. For me, I think the jury is still out on it a little bit, but I say that and also couldn't put the game down when I got it. So
first of all, did you turn off the accessibility settings and the auto steer and all of that stuff?
Oh God, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, I wasn't keep that on.
Well, it's on by default, so
I know. But I believe it was on by default in Mario Kart 8 too.
I think you're right.
Was it really?
I saw people complaining about that, but I'm almost positive it was on by default in Mario Kart 8.
I think you're right.
I mean, I don't know. It was 15 years ago, but
I think it's good that it's on by default because then you get younger players hopping on.
I mean, that's why they do it.
Yeah.
But I guess actually, so that's a good point. So what I will say about, to me, the game is super polished, which of course it is. It's Nintendo. It's a Mario Kart game. It looks incredible. I mean, and I feel like actually, in a way, Nintendo sort of suffers from the fact that most of its games, art style and design on the previous systems were so good at sort of working around the system limitations up until probably the final year of the Switch that this doesn't look as, I think, impressive as it should. Just from the fact it doesn't feel like a big, huge leap over Mario Kart 8, like from moment to moment visually, just because Mario Kart 8 looked incredible for the systems.
Go back and play Mario Kart 8.
Well, and that's the thing when you and when you do go back and really look at it, you can see how much they're doing.
Yeah, you're like, damn.
Yeah, but it's not in your face. You know what I mean? Like, it's not this huge leap. The second you turn it on, I wasn't like, oh my God, this is.
No, you're right.
Such a big leap forward. But no, the thing that I will say is
the higher frame rate
Yeah.
and the 4K-ness of
the 4K-ness
everything.
of it. But the thing that I will say, and it kind of goes back to the open world thing too, that I really was surprised about with this game, is that they don't tutorialize anything.
No, they don't
at all. It's crazy.
In fact, I had to load up there's a sort of a guide that you can load up. I had to like do that because I couldn't figure out how to like how am I supposed to get on the rails?
Yes.
And things like what am I supposed to do while grinding?
Whatever it is. Yeah.
Like,
no,
and how do
how do you get on the rails, CJ?
Well, you do this little thing called the I forget what it's called.
I don't know what it's called.
The jump that you charge jump, I guess. So you have to like not be steering at the time when you start this. You hold down the
drift,
what you would do to drift, and you kind of charge a jump, and then you can jump, and you can also direct where you're jumping.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you
like
do a little hop and jump onto a rail.
The character will like squish down, like the wheels will start to get sort of stand.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but the thing is that you slow down while you're doing it.
You slow down while you're doing it.
The other thing that, like, I mean, I had a buddy over last night who also is playing through Mario Kart 8. He had no idea there was a rewind feature.
You mean I accidentally discovered that today.
See, I knew it was there because I remember seeing them talk about it.
Oh,
when they announced it. But I knew it existed, but it took me a while to remember it was there.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, and then when it hit me, it's like, oh, right, there's a rewind feature in this game. But they don't tell you, it feels like they don't tell you anything, which feels very un-Nintendo to me. I don't know why they would make that decision.
But they didn't do that in Mario Kart 8. I'm pretty sure they didn't.
Years ago, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they didn't.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that kind of struck me the more I thought about it. I was like, yeah, like it really doesn't tell you what anything does.
Right.
It relies on you sort of like the tribal knowledge. I mean, almost everybody, well, people who are old enough know that, you can drift to boost, but I don't think it tells you much of that stuff.
Well, it was like, how do you even drive on the walls? Because I knew that was a thing. Like how?
Right.
And again, you have to jump on to the wall.
Yeah.
And I watched somebody streaming Mario Kart World, and I couldn't believe the number of like times they did the charge jump and just like flipped around, just did tricks to like gather boost.
I was playing online. Streaming it last week, and there was a guy that was playing with us, and he was one of those people who had kind of really figured that out.
Yeah,
because I'm still in the mode where I'm having trouble figuring out when to do that stuff.
Yeah,
so I'm losing a lot of time, and it's like, well, I don't know when or how or why I should be doing this. And then playing with him, and he was just like so fast.
I always start doing that, and then I was drifting, or I was touching the steering wheel, and then suddenly I'm drifting instead of doing the charge jump.
I think where this game shines is the knockout races.
Yes.
I think that's hands down the best part of the game.
Knockout Tour is excellent.
Yeah. It takes such great advantage of the big world. And I mean, having all those racers in each race leads to a lot of chaos, which of course it does.
Yep.
But I think it gives the knockout tour races a really nice sort of feeling of progression, in that like the first couple stages can be just crazy. But then as it get whittled down, because I think they even stop giving people blue shells by the time you get down to like 8 people.
I don't know about that.
Well, I haven't experienced them, but
okay.
Either way, like it calms down is what I'm getting at, right? And it becomes sort of a very tight race for the most part. So anyway, I really enjoy it, and I also really love the fact that even though you're going through parts of tracks that you've seen in Grand Prix mode, they're not the same layout,
right?
So it's it gives it. They are just some really long courses that integrate a bunch of different tracks.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you notice this quality of life upgrade? When you get a shell or when you get some of the items in out of
They drag behind you
question mark
automatically?
they automatically drag behind you.
Yes.
I was like,
I don't love that.
that is the best, because
Oh,
I was
I
probably
agree.
just going to do that anyway.
Yeah.
And the fact that it does it automatically and I don't have to like hold down ZL the whole time, like, I appreciate that. I like that upgrade. I think it's great.
Yeah, I don't love it.
Yeah.
But just for things like when you get like a bomb, you're
Mhm.
dragging the bomb now. So if anybody
I
hits
know.
you, it blows up on you.
It does not blow up on you. No.
Yes, it does. I've had it happen to me.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
All right.
It blows up the bomb, but I have not crashed because of it.
All right.
Okay.
Mm.
Believe you. Thousands.
I know.
what I do.
I like made sure to note. I was like, oh, is this going to blow up and get me in the blast as well? And it did not. I was hit with red shells a couple of times and it didn't do it. So
All right, then.
it just blew up the red shell and that was it.
All right. And you're using rewind to get out of blue shells, I assume?
You know, I haven't had to do that yet. I haven't done that.
You should.
I should
You don't lose
do
any
that.
coins that way.
I should definitely do that then. Yeah. I did use the little horn thing to get out of a blue shell once.
Oh, yeah. The little sound.
Tour.
Yeah. That's from Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. And actually, I had a couple times where I've hopped red shells. Got totally lucky. I mean, I was trying to do it, but I didn't
with
think
the the charge jump.
No, just a regular jump somehow.
With the the feather.
Yes, with the feather. Yes,
With
that's
the
right.
feather.
Sorry. So, and I mean, you know, I mean, I meant to do it in the fact that I was trying to do it, but I mean, it was totally lucky that I got the timing right. But I felt like the greatest video gamer in the world when I did it. I was like, yes, that was awesome. So, yeah. For the most part, though, with the GP mode, I think some of the tracks are great. Some of the new tracks are great. I love that Wario Stadium is back, just because that's one of my all-time favorite tracks from the old N64 days. And I mean, there's some really creative tracks there. The GP mode where you drive from track to track, I kind of wish that it was more interesting. Because for the most part, I feel like any of those, like outside of the very first race in any GP, the subsequent races, they're all point-to-point race, which is fine. But the first two legs of those races, at least two, I mean, there's some of them are split up into more, I find boring for the most part. Not every time, but you're usually on this giant wide open road.
And there's usually not many like power-ups or things like around.
Happening. Yeah.
And
I mean, in some of those, you know, if you can get out in front, I mean, I've had many races where I'm just kind of driving.
Yeah.
And like, there's nothing happening. And because of the way, most of these are pretty straight shots from the point you were on the map to the next track. Like, it's a pretty straight line for the most part. Like, you look at a lot of those track maps and they do not have a lot of curves in them. Yeah. So I just many times I found myself I'm just driving and nothing's happening, you know? And it's kind of a letdown because it is cool, especially to see the area you're going to in the distance, right? I mean, that is cool. That's the thing that was cool about Burnout. That's the thing that's been cool about Forza Horizon. Like, you know, sort of seeing what you're going to, and then you're there and you're racing, and that's awesome.
Because in this, there are moments like when you drive up on Donkey Kong Spaceport.
Oh, that's the
like
best.
Where you see the whole track in front of you. You like round a corner or like go over a hill, and there it is. You're like, oh, this is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think in general, the GP mode, a lot of that part falls flat for me. I think the driving point to point is a little bit boring, which is too bad. But again, you go into like Knockout, it's great. The online races are great. But you know, and
hard too.
Yeah.
Have you won one yet? I have not.
Online. I've won one. That was it. No, I think I won a couple actually when I was streaming last week on Sunday night. I was streaming and we had a bunch of online. I think I won a couple, not many though. I haven't won many of them. So, yeah. But I mean, again, I'm not saying that is like it's a bad game. It's not a bad game at all. It's really, really good. But I'm not totally sold on the traveling between tracks thing. I think it feels like a gimmick that doesn't hold its own in a game that's filled with way cooler stuff to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I agree with that. Yeah, it's kind of weird because it's not like it is like Knockout Tour is a continuous race, right? And when you're just doing GP, it like once you finish a track, it stops the whole thing, and then you have to start again anyway. So it's not like it doesn't feel as much of a flow or organic as Knockout Tour does.
But you can go and just race the tracks if you go into versus mode.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. So if you go to versus mode. No, you can race with a full field of CPU drivers.
Oh, you can? Okay.
Yep. So you go to versus mode. You can play versus mode single player, but you can choose the individual tracks. And like when you choose them, I think you can actually choose if you want like the full like point to point thing, or if you just want to race on the track.
Okay.
So it is possible to do that, but it feels a little bit buried in a menu that kind of wouldn't expect, but it is there. So yeah.
What do you think of the characters? I chose Sidestepper as my initial character, which is of course the crab enemy from the Mario Brothers arcade game, and I was disappointed to find that Sidestepper doesn't have any costume changes.
Yes, a lot of those extra characters don't have any costumes.
Yeah. I wish some of them would have costume changes. Like Lakitu has 2 of them, which I quite enjoy.
King Boo has like a dapper gentleman costume, which
that's a cool one.
Certainly does.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
a
big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess I gotta unlock more of those for more of the characters. They're all unlockables, and they add them as like a new character to the character select screen. Like, it's a little awkward that way.
Although what I do like is that if you have a character, it's weird that you have to go to different character slots to choose like Yoshi as this with this outfit or Yoshi with that outfit. But what I do like is depending on the outfit you're wearing, it will actually change some of the liveries on the cart, the bikes that you're
That's cool.
That's
I like
a nice
that
touch.
a lot.
Yeah.
I do like that a lot because then I don't have to worry about customizing my livery depending on the character. The game's already done it for me. So I'm fine with that. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lakitu, I think, is my main at the moment.
I talked about back when they announced this game. I talked about this. I feel like they missed a golden opportunity to continue on what they were doing with Mario Kart 8
which is what
making this more like a Smash Brothers collection.
They're gonna
of
do
Nintendo
that.
Characters.
They're gonna do it.
I know, but
like, you and I both know it's going to happen.
I know, but I guess I get a little smile when I see some of the somebody called the mooks, these sort of the little tertiary characters that are drivable in this game.
The Moors, I believe.
Yeah, the moops. I think it's moops.
Moops. Guard says moops.
It just it get kind of a chuckle, but I'm never driving in it as any of them. I don't care. So yeah.
I need Wart. Where is Wart?
I would be all in on Wart.
There was some Mario Brothers 2 music in the game.
There is, by the way, the music.
Oh yeah,
my God, the soundtrack is so good,
amazing. You'll be driving around in free roam. I found this to be true. Like, and suddenly it's like, damn, this music's awesome. Oh, it's from Super Mario Brothers 2, or it's a Mario 3 auto run level. Like, yeah, I really enjoy the music. Can't wait for that to show up on Nintendo Music because I'll be listening to that a lot.
Oh yeah.
I don't think people have noticed it as much because the sound mix on it really favors the sound effects.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And I didn't really notice it until I played with headphones at one point. And then I was really starting to hear, I could hear the music, but I didn't notice how really great all these tracks are until I could actually, hear them a little bit in the headphones. Like the soundtrack's fantastic.
It is. Yeah, truly. Truly great.
Yeah.
Is that it for Mario Kart World? Are we done talking
Possibly.
about that? I feel like this is a game I could play a lot of going forward. We played I think Compo opened a room on Friday, and we played with a bunch of listeners, and that was a really fun too. Knockout tour. And yeah, it was great. It was great. Good fun.
I mean, I hope they support it the way they supported Mario Kart 8.
I hope they do too.
And I'm really curious how they're going to add those extra tracks in the sort of the open world setup.
Yes. I'm curious about that as well. Could get interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But I'd love to see Animal Crossing tracks. I'd love to see Splatoon themed tracks.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
Hyrule something in
so
there.
Everything that was in Mario Kart 8, is that what you're...
Everything in
we
Mario
didn't have a
Kart
Splatoon
8.
track, did we?
No, we didn't. We had the racers though.
Yeah.
They were in there.
Yeah.
But I'd love all that. Make it more like Nintendo Kart. And I'm sure they will. But I also want them to add more Mario characters. If they can add Sidestepper, they can add Wart. I mean, come on, people. Add people from Super Mario RPG.
Time to start that campaign, CJ.
Just do everything. Yeah, definitely get Wart in there because...
Change.org.
He deserves to be in a game. Damn it. I mean, put Fanto in there. I mean, there are
Fanto.
some that are already in there, like from Mario 2. Birdo's in there.
Yep.
Come on.
Birdo is in there. I actually had to go back and it was funny. I forget which one of my kids, I think it was my youngest, was watching me play. And Birdo was on screen. I think I was playing as Birdo just to see if there were any outfits I could unlock for them. And, you finish the race and the camera pans around and everything. And so you see Birdo's mouth. And my daughter's like, why is their mouth like that? Like, this the big circle mouth. And I was like, well, that's because this is a character from Mario Brothers 2. So then I went to Nintendo Online and fired up Super Mario Brothers 2 and went and played to Birdo.
Nice.
They weren't as impressed as I thought they would be, but
that's too bad.
Not impressed with Mario 2?
Kids, I got rid of that one.
Gave that one away.
Oh.
Yeah. No, but that's Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart World.
Mario Kart 8.
I think I still like 8 a tiny bit more, but this is quite good.
I would say you're probably right in terms of the sheer number of tracks and the whole Nintendo crossover thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
This will get there, though. I have all the faith in the world, in the Mario Kart world, that Nintendo will add that stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So how about that Switch 2 welcome tour?
Never played it. What's it like?
Should have been a free download. That's what it's like.
I'm actually kind of enjoying Welcome Tour and knowing a little bit more about all of the things that they've changed or like make the Switch 2 work, and including the magnets for the Joy-Con, like the whole segment about like, the 0.2 millimeter plastic sheet that is over the top of the Joy-Con and all of this stuff on the inside. And I and why there's the little gap between the Joy-Con and the system. Like, I really enjoy all that stuff.
It is so dry. But I do find it very fascinating. I do have to admit that.
It is dry unless you read some of so they have little quizzes.
Yeah.
On some of the stuff. And if you read some of the alternate answers, it's pretty funny.
They
some of those are
funny.
great.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, for the most part, it's okay. I've learned a lot. There is some really fascinating stuff in there. I felt absolutely ancient when I got to the whole thing about how cartridges were the forerunners to memory cards, and they were showing pictures of cartridges that didn't come out until I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, there's some cute demonstrations in there. There's some cute mini games in there too. Again, for me, the thing is, I was just shocked at how well the mouse controls work.
Yeah.
You know, like,
They're
'cause I
great.
think when I first was playing it, I was using like the arm of my chair. It's like, geez, this is working really well. And then I tried my pant leg, and it's like, this is still working really well. And then, like I said, I'd been taking it to, when I went to bed, I was playing Picross, but I was still sort of in the middle of doing some of the welcome tour stuff. And I got to well, I went back and did one of the mini golf putting challenges, and I was using, like, it was on my bed sheets and it was working great. So yeah, I mean, I am very impressed by that. And yeah, some of the demos are super cute. The Super Mario Brothers 1-1 4K demo is so cute.
That's really great.
It really is.
So for anybody who's not going to get this, so basically, there's the way this welcome tour works is you're literally working your way through the different components of the system. So you start with the left Joy-Con. You, like CJ said, like, you look at every single button. You get to play a few different mini games. You learn about the mouse controls, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then you unlock the ability to go walk around on the screen. And at one point, there's a demo station where they're talking about how, of course, the Switch 2 can display, well, if it's docked, it displays 4K, displays games in 4K. So if you are docked and you're on a 4K television, the way that they demonstrate this is they get you to play the original World 1-1 from Super Mario Brothers at, I believe, they say it's native resolution.
Yeah.
So, which means that it's tiny on your screen. And the way that they do it, which I just absolutely love, is that every screen you're in still stays on the screen. So it ends up the whole world creates a strip across as you play it, creates a strip across your screen, and you just complete the level. And I was just, it's just adorable. I really like that.
I kind of want to play the entirety of Super Mario Brothers,
right?
With
that small
World 1-1 starting up in the upper left corner, and then just working your way across, and then working your way across one layer right below.
And it was great going into the pipe to get the coins or whatever. Like, it actually like drops down,
and then it skips the whole part of the level that you skip. You don't see it.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was so cool.
So there's a lot of really cute little touches in that. And the other thing that I love too is, I don't know if you noticed this, but if you run while you're on the screen, your character's skating. The animation, the run animation turns into like a skating animation.
Oh,
because the screen is slippery.
Yeah.
Your character will actually tumble after a little while. He'll fall over.
Yeah.
You're talking about in Welcome Tour, not Super Mario Brothers 4K.
I was exactly.
Okay, we were back on the screen of the Switch
moved
2.
back to this.
Okay.
And
what about your did you do your frame rate mini game? Did you
I suck at I suck at identifying 60 versus 120 frames.
I was able to do it a couple of times, but it's a 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
Really I just did the first difficulty of it.
Yeah.
Because you unlock.
That's all I did too.
Me too.
I did do it the first time around, although I will admit that some of my answers, I was just guessing what I figured the natural progression of the answers would be.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, they just showed me, the right answer was 30 frames.
Right.
So the next one's probably going to be 60 frames. And I just answered questions that way.
Yeah.
I am not good at picking out frame rates.
And when you get to the right Joy-Con, they go into how the rumble works.
Yes.
The Joy-Cons and how it's done with magnets. And there's that great demo about how fast this thing can vibrate that it creates sound effects.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Really cool.
It's like, I was very uncomfortable by it because they trigger the rumble feature in the Joy-Con, and it starts sounding like
the coin,
like picking up a coin.
Yeah,
in Mario
coin sound effect, and a 1-up. I think they do. Don't do a 1-up as well.
Yeah, because there's
they have you go from just rumbling.
Yeah.
And as you continue to press, then you're like, oh, this is getting higher and higher pitch. And then it's a coin sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're not using the speakers.
No, not using the speakers.
So it's just pretty neat.
Is there a speaker in the Joy-Con?
Yes. No,
that's
in the screen.
I think that's one of the things that they
Yeah.
they explain is that there is no speaker in the Joy-Con,
Right.
but it is producing Mario sound effects.
Yeah. So that's the thing too is, and it's so funny to me because of course, like, obviously I think, I don't know if you guys did this, but I think I compare this to Astrobot, obviously. The Astrobot that came with the PlayStation 5, because that was really just a demo of the controller and what it could do. It was a great demo of the controller and what it could do. So with the Switch 2, it makes a lot of sense that they would do this, but of course the Switch 2 is so much different than a PS5 in that there's so many different configurations that the system uses. So Welcome Tour is so funny to me because it's like, you know, either sometimes you need to be docked and sometimes you can't be docked, and you need to disconnect the controllers, and you need to be able to use the kickstand, and it's just, you know, like to the point that there were sections I was skipping during certain runs just because, like I said, if I was laying in bed, I wasn't going to do any of the television stuff because I'm not getting up and going to my TV and vice versa. So it's just kind of funny. And then I haven't gotten this far because I'm still only on the right Joy-Con. But there's like stuff for the straps. There's a section for that, and there's a section for other peripherals like the Pro Controller and the steering wheel and
the camera too.
And the camera, right? So and those are some of those things I won't be able to do because I don't have those pieces. So but you can just, obviously you can get the medals you need to move on by just tapping SOS on the X button, I think it is. And if you're near a kiosk where you need to play a mini game to earn medals, if you just tap out SOS in Morse code, you will get, I forget what they're called. They're skip medals, I think is what they're called. So you have the medals you need to move on.
I don't think I realized that.
It's one of the little characters that you can talk to tells you about it early on.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. It should have been a free download. It should have been loaded onto the system.
Yeah, it should have been. I don't feel that bad about paying $10 for it, but it should have been free.
The show paid for your Mario Kart in your system.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't feel bad about it either because I didn't lay out, 1,000 of my own dollars for this stuff. But
right.
Still, yeah.
All right.
I wouldn't recommend it. That's Welcome Tour. I did also download the new Picross Jufate Raiden's Guide for Pixel Museum.
Yes. Which is not a Switch 2 game.
No, it's not at all. But it's by far the game I've played the most on my Switch 2 over the last week. Nice. I mean, it's great. It's just Picross with an anime girl guiding you through a museum, and all the puzzles are based on classic paintings. And you get a little sort of history lesson for each painting when you complete the puzzle, which I really dig. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
The progression is weird. If you know what I mean, like because the way that the Picross games have always worked is like they start small and then you get to the bigger and bigger and bigger puzzles. But in this one, it's like you start small. Well, the first ones are really small, but then like the dimensions have been all over the place. About the second floor of the museum, right? Like some of them are like gigantic right away. And then you go back down to like a 15 by 20 or, a 10 by 15 or something. So the progression is a little bit weird. And I haven't checked to see. So the little anime girl is with you while you're doing the puzzles, and she makes comments constantly, depending on what you're doing, especially if you complete a row or a column. I don't know if there's a way to turn that off, but
there probably is.
There must be.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's cute, and it's more.
If you
if
you're a fan of this VTuber,
nope.
If you're a fan of this VTuber, you see how I put a conditional word there at the beginning. If you're a fan of this VTuber, you'll probably get a really big kick out of it because you get a lot of voiceovers. You get a lot of kind of interactions with her. So
that's cool.
I haven't looked her up. Is she like an art history person?
I believe so.
Because I will say that I always listen to the descriptions of each painting
Right.
after the puzzle, because there's some really interesting stuff in there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So, yep. Anyway, that's really all that is. Yeah, and I've been playing a couple other things that I want to touch on as well before we move on to the Yakuza talk. I finished South of Midnight.
Congratulations.
Nice.
That game just got better and better.
That's a good game.
Like it just,
I need to play more.
I enjoyed each new level more than the last. And the only thing, I was so bummed about this.
The one thing.
The
only thing.
I didn't upgrade all of her abilities.
Oh.
I was 30 floofs short by the end of the game. And I knew it was coming. I knew the end of the game was coming because, I mean, when you're fighting the final boss, you're very obviously fighting the final boss.
Right.
And I was like, damn it. Like, where am I going to find these things? I'm short. And then, of course, the final chapter starts. I was like, oh, good, there's more to play. But no, the final chapter is literally walk point A to point B, trigger a cutscene, the game's over. But I ended up searching high and low in that level, see if I could find any floofs to do the final upgrade, but I didn't do it. Yeah, I mean, I would say, if anything, I would have welcomed more levels in the back half of that game. When they really introduce Rue, it feels like you're already on the end path of the game.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been a bit more fun to have him be around a little more. But that being said, I still really enjoyed it. And, you know, I mean, it's a nice, tight experience. It's not too long. It's beautiful. It's got a great soundtrack. I enjoy the combat in it. The final couple of levels, I thought they were super interesting. I thought the story was really great.
Mm-hmm.
It really gives me the same vibes that I got from Kenna back in the day too. Like, it's kind of that same, you know, very tightly scripted, interesting, different story. It's not something I've experienced 100 times in video games, and I absolutely love it. So happy with that game.
Yes.
Yeah, you should definitely play it. CJ, you should finish it. It's not very long.
I would like to.
Somebody was asking me how long it was, and I actually meant to go check that. It doesn't feel like it was even 10 hours. But I'd have to look.
I think it was like 12 or so.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
It just never, I don't know. I guess it's just that I never got bored with it, so it didn't feel like it was taking very long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other big thing that happened on the Switch 2 launch day was obviously Arcade Archives 2 Ridge Racer.
Oh, yeah.
Was released. Did you guys not play this?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I have not picked it up yet.
I see it on your list. Okay.
I picked it up.
It's I picked it up on the PlayStation 5. Because I didn't know if I was getting a Switch or not. And I like the PS5 controller for driving games. I haven't tried to see if it even has wheel support. I should check that, because if I could play it with a wheel, that'd be awesome.
I bet it does.
Yeah.
Hamster seems like the kind of company that would do that.
I was thinking between this and the Sega release of Daytona a few years back, which I think is delisted now, but if you bought it back then, you've still got access to it. Like now, my arcade experience from the late 90s is complete, because all I did when I went to arcades when these games were out was play these two games, Ridge Racer and Daytona. So, and it's really well. I mean, it runs really great. I like their score attack. The score attack mode's interesting. So you've got the original arcade game. You've got the two versions. You got 4 versions total. There's I forget what they're called, but they're basically, I think, what you would call the stand up and the sit down versions. Because there's a version that doesn't include a clutch pedal, and there's a version that does include a clutch pedal, and that's it. And I think the one that has the clutch was the sit down that actually had like a gear shift and everything. But you've got the Japanese versions and the English versions of both of those. You can just go in and do the 4 game modes that were originally in the arcade. And then there's a time trial as well. And then they have I don't think they call it score attack, but it's a score attack mode where you're just, again, you're still just doing the exact same thing. You're racing, you're doing the different races, but you just have a score that's going up. And you're trying to last as long as you can. Like you make the race last as long as you can by getting to each checkpoint. And then you get on the leaderboard there. And I was just outside the top 100 when I did it that night.
Cool.
In the world. So I was pretty proud of that. But it's really well done. Although, CJ, have you seen any graphical issues with this game at all?
On Switch 2? Not really. Not that I've noticed.
I found on the PlayStation, if I put the thing to sleep, if I put the system to sleep while the game's on, and then when you come back, the game is still, what loads up.
Yeah.
Or you leave it paused for too long.
Is there a memory leak happening?
It's really screwed up. Yeah.
Oh.
And I recorded video of it. For some reason, I can't upload it to YouTube. I don't know why. But I recorded video of it. It's just this weird, like the road starts flashing and textures are screwed up. And
that's weird.
It's really bizarre.
Okay.
But it doesn't happen in normal play. It was like, you put it to sleep or suspend it or whatever.
Right.
It seems to not like that. So yeah, actually, you're probably right. It's probably a memory leak.
Yeah. I wonder if it's even something they can fix.
I honestly don't even think it's something they need to fix.
Yeah.
It's a very specific.
If just restarting fixes it, then it's probably all right.
That's all it is. Like you go out and you just force close the program and then start it up again.
But then again, Hamster, they do updates for Arcade Archives on occasion, so maybe they will
fix it. And it's still playable. Everything still works. It's just
that's good.
You've got flashing textures and stuff like that. It's just a visual issue. I swear I'm almost done. So the other thing,
you played a lot of stuff this week.
I remember when Greg was complaining about the show taking too long earlier.
Well, no, I wasn't complaining about it. I was saying it's going to take too long, so shut up and let's start. And actually, there's something that I didn't put on the list here that I want to talk about too. But so a couple of demos came out. One of them is Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. There's a demo for that now. I don't know if it's on console. I think it might only be Steam.
I think so, because Steam Next Fest is going on, or it went on for the last week. So
if you are able to play, you both have Steam Deck, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I sure do.
Anyway,
Next Fest is only until like tomorrow.
Go download it. Go download it.
I already did.
It's so good.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet, but I did download it.
It is so good.
Good.
Like, my God. I was playing it this afternoon, and it's a good demo too, because it like you do like the opening stage, but then it kind of jumps you around to like deeper into the game because when you've unlocked more abilities. Because I think I mentioned with this and also the upcoming Shinobi, when we were watching footage of it after they'd been announced, I was really worried that you were going to have to concentrate a lot on like chaining enemies and all that sort of thing. And there is an element of that here, but it feels like it's more about you can do that if you want. You know what I mean? And and there will be people and not speedrunners, but there will be people who will absolutely have videos of this game online where they're just doing like crazy things with chaining together combos and chaining together kills and stuff like that. But it seems like based on the demo, you don't have to do that, but it's got a really nice move set available that just, it feels like they captured and modernized the old Ninja Gaiden NES games. Like they captured the spirit of it, right? He moves fast. Cool. The control is very precise. It just feels good. It feels really good to play, just like the old Ninja Gaidens did. You know, you feel like you have supreme control over your character, and and you can do such cool things, and not having to be like crazy good at video games to be able to do it. And it looks great. It sounds great. But the gameplay is what got me. Like I was playing the demo today and I just absolutely fell in love with it. I'm so excited for that game to come out now. I mean, I was excited anyway, but I'm super excited to play the full version of this game.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, I mean, if you're listening to this on Tuesday, you might have already missed your chance to play this demo, but if you're listening to it right now, go download the demo and try it. It's if you're even remotely interested in it, it is great. And then there's one more demo that I want to talk about, and then we can move on. Mina the Hollower.
Yes,
Which is the new Yacht Club games.
I downloaded that as well.
Which has a release date now.
When is that? October?
October. I can hear the trailer.
Yeah.
If you're playing it, I can hear that in your
I did not mean for that to start playing.
Yeah.
I went to the Ninja Gaiden Steam page and it just started playing a video at me.
Right. Yeah. So Mina the Hollower, it's from Yacht Club Games, who are the Shovel Knight people. It's more of it's an overhead action RPG style game.
Right.
So it feels kind of like a more action, I guess maybe a faster classic Zelda game.
That's what they were meant. That was the inspiration for it, right?
Okay.
Link's Awakening and
Link's Awakening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a little bit of platforming and everything. It took me a little bit longer to get excited about this in the demo because it does start out slow. But one thing I will say that they do right off the bat that I love is when you get your weapon, you actually choose one of 3 weapons as your main. So you can choose like a set of knives, or you can choose a whip, or I forget what the third weapon was. I chose a whip, but it's absolutely obviously inspired by Zelda and Link's Awakening in particular. But it also feels like it's very much it feels like a Castlevania game somehow. And I'm not just talking because of the whip. There's just something about it, like the way it looks and feels and sounds, that it would feel very comfortable in like the Castlevania canon somehow. And I don't even really know how to describe why I feel that way. But the demo's pretty beefy, and it didn't take too long. Where I got to the point that I was really starting to understand her move set, because there is a fair amount of platforming. There's a little bit of strategy to how you do that. A lot of hidden rooms. And it's got sub weapons again, like Castlevania. It's got sub weapons that you can pick up and use that you have to sort of swap out when you pick up new ones. Just try it, play it, and you'll see what I mean. It really does feel like sort of a melding of classic Zelda and classic Castlevania to me.
Interesting.
It didn't, like I said, it didn't grab me as quickly as like the original Shovel Knight did. Shovel Knight I fell in love with the second I played it. Yeah. But by the end, I played this demo for about 20 minutes and I didn't finish it. And at the end of it, I was really enjoying it. So again, another one of those demos that probably, if you're listening to this on Tuesday, it's probably gone. I have no idea, because I think this is also part of the
Steam Next Fest.
Steam Next Fest. But if you are listening now, you should go download it and check it out. I think it's going to be really good. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah,
cool.
I gotta play both those demos.
You do.
I'm interested
to hear what you think about Ninja Gaiden, because, like I said, it grabbed me.
Oh, I'm sure I'm going to love it.
So happy. So happy with it. And now I'm just the only question mark now is if Shinobi's going to be at that level too. I sure hope it is.
Yeah.
So that's it. I promise. That's all I've been playing.
Wow.
I know it's been a
all
long.
Right.
I've been saving it up.
Phil.
Yeah.
Want to talk about what you've been playing?
Well, really the only thing that I've been playing that we have not already discussed is I did start playing Yakuza 0 in Director's Cut on the Nintendo Switch 2.
Yes.
And I know you're further along in it than I am.
I'm at chapter 3.
I just started chapter 2.
Oh, okay.
So that's where I am.
I hadn't realized. So I played a little bit of Yakuza 0 years ago.
Right.
And before
I apparently I had forgotten about it, but I started up the first chapter and I was like, this is all very
familiar.
I did play this, didn't I?
And I didn't remember where I'd gotten to, but I remembered that I'd started it and had played at least a little of it on PS4, maybe Xbox. I'm not sure. But but I'm now just past the point where I have now not played any of it. So like, I think I played even through some of chapter 2 at the very least, because I was like, I remember this side story and I remember this and that thing. So yeah, now I'm fully to the content that I have never seen before. Now,
good.
Because Majima shows up and I'm like, okay, I haven't seen any of this now. Yeah.
But I mean, again, I've just barely started, but it is good.
It is good. Let me ask you a question, Phil. Like going from Pirate, Yakuza in Hawaii, and Infinite Wealth, and then going basically backwards 10 years, because this came out in 2015 originally.
Yes.
It's basically like undoing a lot of like quality of life things that they brought to the series, and at least in the beginning, where it's on rails to an extreme degree.
Oh yeah,
it feels like, wow, this is a real step backwards. And Kamurocho does open up more than it is in just the intro bits, but I felt like, I'm just kind of, it's not as easy to manage my inventory, for example.
Yeah.
Like, wait a second, my inventory is completely full? How did that happen?
Yeah.
I haven't picked up very much yet.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That sort of thing is definitely noticeable. Even to the point of like being able to control the camera as I'm walking around town. I just want to kind of move the camera around freely and just kind of soak in the sights, and it doesn't really let you do that.
Or there's not as many shiny things to pick up.
Exactly.
Here.
Or shops you can go into.
There are shiny things to pick up, at least later. They've started appearing for me. And now I'm like, well, okay, what do I do with this shiny thing that I picked up? Because it's at this point, it's like cards for different girls.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anyway, and I'm not sure where I'm supposed to use those. I did go into like a couple of the purple colored rooms. Like even the map, honestly, is a step back in time a little bit. And you have to, everything's color coded. Okay, yellow, that's a restaurant or a convenience store. And then there's orange and there's purple, and the taxi cabs are there too, but it's just a little bit of a step back. But I'm not sure. So I went into a couple of the purple buildings, but they weren't. I guess I don't have the cards for the girls that are at that place. So
those are like the entertainment centers of the purple ones.
Yeah, the
like
entertainment
your arcades
centers
or
your dance clubs. I did a dance with Kiryu at a club. That was pretty fun.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm playing it on easy.
Oh yeah,
because I really don't care about the depth of combat. This does not have the option. So some of the newer Yakuzas, like Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii and The Man Who Erased His Name, have the option. Those are combat focused Yakuza games.
Mm-hmm.
They have an option where it just automatically like selects the best attacks for you and the best combos. So you really don't have to deal with like switching stances or anything like that. This does not do that. So I still have to switch stances. Currently have 3 of those unlocked. I imagine there's a 4th. But it doesn't have any of that. And like, the settings menu is kind of sparse in terms of what you can adjust compared to later Yakuza games. But I'm still really enjoying it. Now that, especially that I've played the games and have been to Kamurocho and Sotenbori before in other games, I'm like, I know this map.
Right.
So it's not, I guess I haven't played in Kamurocho as much, so that isn't as big a deal. But I didn't realize Sotenbori is in Yakuza 0, in addition to being in Man Who Erased His Name. So, I'm having fun with all of that, with all of this so far. Yeah. I'm playing in English. You playing in Japanese?
I am indeed playing in Japanese.
Yeah, the English dub is new, and it has, some of the actors from the other games in it. So
Right.
some of the later games. So and I'm
Okay.
enjoying that. I liked to play in English because otherwise I would have to read these smaller subtitles on the plane, like
Oh,
as
right,
I was
right.
traveling on the handheld. So, and you can't adjust the size of the subtitles. So I decided I'll just play in English.
Fair enough.
And the English voices are great. Matt Mercer
Mark Hamill?
is back. Yeah. So, and Yong Ye is Kiryu, obviously.
Okay.
And forget who. Maybe Matt Mercer is Majima. I'm not sure.
Yakuza games need
Anyway.
more Rick Mercer.
Don't know who that is.
Canadian comedian. Awesome.
Yeah. But I'm enjoying it quite a lot. And I believe is the save anywhere option new to this one, because you don't really have to use a phone booth to save.
Oh, can you save anywhere?
You can save anywhere, which
okay.
I appreciated. I'm not sure if that's new or not, but I like that ability.
I've still been tracking down phone booths like a fool.
I have not. Although when I have to use the item box, then I do.
That is true.
So,
but it's good.
But you're enjoying it?
I am enjoying it. It, like you said, it does feel a little. It's showing its age a bit.
Yeah,
but
you can see how far the Yakuza games have come.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they had applied some of the more surface level improvements from the series in director's cut, but
yeah.
And also, isn't it funny that this is called director's cut when the director is not at Sega anymore?
Wow.
Yeah.
But that's really it. That's what I've been playing.
Nice.
Yes.
I've been playing some more stuff on the Switch too. So Fantasy Life I, this got a Switch 2 edition on launch day for $3. It's a $3 upgrade. Which is a nice
expensive.
price. Yeah, I bought it, of course. And man, is it good. It adds, so the frame rate's now 60 frames a second. It's 1080p in handheld instead of 720, and it's super nice looking. It was like 30 frames a second and 720 on Switch 1, and that the upgrade there, the just visual fidelity is worth it. I was playing on the OLED Switch and it was fine, but playing it on Switch 2 is so much better. I really like it.
How better is it?
So much better. I really dig it. And it's just a great game too. If, like I said, if you are the type of player that enjoyed Dragon Quest Builders 2, I think you'll really like Fantasy Life I. There is a farming
these types of games, then this is a game for you.
Yeah, there's a farming component, but you don't really have to do it if you don't want to. Like, that's the great thing about Fantasy Life so far. Like, any of the jobs, if you don't want to focus on them, you can just like do the license requirement, or you don't even really have to do that, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You can just do the stuff that you do want to do, which is fantastic. And yeah, the combat's fun in it. I'm playing getting pretty high level. My character's level 21. I don't know what that means exactly, but means
it's one above 20.
One above 20.
Good.
Yeah.
But I'm quite enjoying it. It plays well on Switch too. So anyone sort of on the fence about Fantasy Life I, not sure if you want the Switch 2 upgrade, definitely get it. And if you're just interested in Fantasy Life I in general, I think it's a great game on Switch too. It's a great game in general. I also went back to Tears of the Kingdom. So Tears of the Kingdom, I never finished.
Blasphemy.
I have a little save, or I have a warp point at the very end of the game. And the Switch 2 edition upgrade for Tears of the Kingdom allows you to start a new save file. So you can have your old save, and then you can start a new save file. So I was like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start a new save file and go through like the tutorial island and like relearn how to play. And then I'll go to my nearly end of the game save file and continue on. So I've been playing through the initial bits of Tears of the Kingdom, but the first time I played through Tears of the Kingdom, I think I rushed that first island experience. Like I sort of speed ran it.
You wanted to get into the big world
because I wanted to get down to Hyrule.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, now I'm like just spending my time like savoring it and exploring that initial area. Do you remember being hard up on warmth, like food that'll keep you warm during the cold?
I don't remember.
Bits of the initial island. I think we talked about it on the podcast. I think all of us were like,
yeah, I think so.
We had a real problem with this one area because we didn't have enough of the like warmth food.
It sounds like us.
So I was like, all right, I'm going through this area again. I'm going to search high and low, every nook and cranny for the sort of spicy peppers that will keep me warm.
CJ searching Hyrule and low.
That's right. And I had no problem. I had no problem with it this time out. I had 2 dishes that would give me 12 minutes each of warmth.
Ooh.
And then I was able to make another dish.
Things are getting too spicy for the pepper.
I was able to make another dish like later on that gave me another 10 minutes of warmth.
Well,
so I was ready to go. I was loaded for bear.
CJ discovering all the hacks.
Yeah. And
hacks.
Like the little the gotcha machines that give you Zonai devices and things. Like I hit those up and knew exactly, because I remembered that part of the game. I like knew exactly what to do with those parts, and I just really have had a really fun time going through the beginning of the game. I was like, maybe I should just continue this save file and replay the whole thing.
Damn.
But I'm not going to.
No, that's a lot of hours.
That's a lot of hours, and I think I'm just going to like continue on from my later save. But I might not just go to the final room and do that, because there's a lot of things in Hyrule that I didn't do the first time out. So I might go back and do some of that stuff.
And I love that game.
Tears of the Kingdom is a great game. And by the way, 60 frames a second in 4K makes a huge difference. Yeah. Huge. Like I didn't realize how big a difference it makes in just how enjoyable it is to play.
Yeah.
Good. Very good. Highly recommend it. I don't know that I'll go back to Breath of the Wild. I've tried to go back to Breath of the Wild like a couple times, and it just I can never get momentum there. But Tears of the Kingdom, I had only played that intro the one time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't remember any of this intro. So I'm just going to explore this opening area and try to do all the things. And I'm having a great time with it.
Neato.
What were we going to say?
I don't remember.
Craig? Okay.
Oh, my.
All right. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. I mean, I've loaded up Picross games on the Switch too. They load up very fast. Nice. It's very nice. But yeah, that's it. That's all. I guess that means it's time to head to blue skies.
I wanna fly sky high. Let's go together.
All right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias KSO. Let's start here. If Nintendo made Super Smash Kart instead of Mario Kart World, we may never have had a playable cow. Is the theoretical trade-off worth it?
No.
We're gonna get we're gonna get other Nintendo franchises on here. I'd actually love it to see other company franchises like Pac-Man, Mega Man, get all of that stuff.
I mean, I'd rather play with Cow than Samus.
Samus. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, adding Samus also adds makes the possibility more real that we could get like a Zebus themed track with Metroid music.
That would be cool.
Hmm.
I'd be down with that.
Just saying.
Hmm.
That's why I was bummed that they didn't go that. It's not a mistake to go that way. It's just my personal preference. I was bummed that they didn't continue down that route. That's all.
Oh, they have time. They have
I know,
time.
CJ,
If Mario
I
Kart
understand.
World is going to be a 10-year game like Mario Kart 8 was, we've got plenty of time for that.
It's only
Just saying.
$12 a year.
That'll be free with the expansion pack, right?
I had no idea.
Probably
we
not.
never talked about GameCube stuff.
Oh,
we don't have to.
Right.
I'm just saying we didn't talk about it. It runs great. Next.
I played some Wind Waker.
I played a little Soul Calibur.
Wind Waker looks great.
Yeah, I played a little Soul Calibur as well. And F-Zero. Oh my God, F-Zero is so good.
Wind Waker still looks great.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. Good times. All right, let's do this one from listener Jason, who says, "Who played Welcome Tour? According to my play stats, I've sunk more than 10 hours into that game."
Oh my goodness.
Actually,
did you not buy anything else? Or
I'm kind of surprised at the amount of time I've been spending in Welcome Tour.
Some people really like those mini games.
Yeah,
like the putting mini game. It seems like a lot of people are really into that. I am personally not. I played the first hole. It's like, that's cool. And then I used the SOS thing to get the other medals and moved on.
Nice. Let's do this one. Did anyone get one of those expensive cases for the Switch 2? Was looking at the leather ones for $150 that Wario64 posted about. So Waterfield makes I think they're making a case for Switch 2, and I had their case for Switch 1, and it was great. And yeah, it was expensive, but it was a great case. So I think that's probably, I don't know if that's exactly what Wario had tweeted, but sfbags.com is where Waterfield is, and they make great stuff. And I would they're expensive, but the quality's were, I mean, it's handcrafted leather.
Yeah, whatever.
Ooh. The hand stitched.
My thing is that I do want to get a case, but like I just jumped on Amazon. But my worry is that most of the stuff that pops up there, I'm pretty sure they're just Switch cases.
Oh,
they've just been relabeled as Switch 2, but like a lot of the listings have been around for years. So it's like, well, no. So
I did pick up a case. I picked up the official Nintendo case, which is a pretty thin case, and it really doesn't have any bells and whistles on it. But since I did
not the physical bells and whistles on your case,
not a physical,
so you know where it is.
Gamer, I don't even have to. I think it's got a spot for like 10 game cards or whatever inside. Yeah. But I'm not going to be using any of those. So
this is probably the same one I got.
It's fine for it. Probably is. It comes with the screen protector that I probably threw in the trash.
What?
I got a different screen protector. I did get a screen protector to put on my system, but I got one of the more elaborate ones that have like the little frame that clips onto your system to help you apply it straight and
okay.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I did not get a screen protector because,
especially considering how rattly it is inside the dock.
See, there you go.
Wow,
I never noticed that. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yes,
but I will say, and I mean, it wasn't expensive. It was like $8 or something, and you got 2 of them in case you mess one up or something. Or
I'll tell you, like I haven't been too crazy about putting screen protectors on most things until I dropped my analog pocket.
Oh,
and I happened to have a screen protector on it, and that thing shattered.
Did it really?
The analog pocket, there's not a mark on it.
Wow.
Oh, that's great.
So I immediately bought more. And replaced the screen protector on that. And I don't have one yet for my Switch 2, but I am absolutely going to put one on my Switch 2.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Let's do This one from hacker alias Keenad, who says, it seems as though gaming media has a year-round obsession with goatee watches. Was that the case back in the glory days of EGM? Did the editors yell, "What's up?" GOTY for sure when a game like Soul Calibur or Halo arrived in the office? Or was that mostly just discourse when doing the annual awards issue?
I am going to say that the editors used to yell "What's up" a lot.
What's up?
Yeah. Back when that was a thing.
Yeah.
I think I don't know that we were like, oh, game of the year for sure, but I think we paid attention to the big releases. And I think more than that, it was when something crept up on us that we didn't expect.
Yeah.
Because you go into the year and it's like, I know there's going to be a new Tony Hawk this year. And I know that there's a new Grand Theft Auto coming this year, and I know there's a new not Call of Duty, but there were tentpole games that you knew were coming, whether they were yearly releases or whether they, had been a few years or something, but you knew it was coming. So you go into that year thinking like they're already going to be in the conversation unless they completely miss the mark, right? Yeah. You just kind of assume they're going to be in the conversation for game of the year. But then it was the stuff that you didn't expect or that wasn't, didn't have a ton of marketing behind it or something that you discovered. And I think that we as a staff, because not everybody played everything, especially when it came to the lesser, the non AAA games, right? That you wanted to make sure that the rest of the staff knew about, because when we were going to have that conversation, you wanted it to be in the loop.
Yeah. But I think back in the day as well, not as many high profile games came out earlier in the year. So oftentimes we weren't really talking about, oh, is this or that going to be game of the year throughout the year, because most of the big games hit in the fall.
I remember my first dev job. I remember my boss saying this, where it was because I had said we were coming out at Christmas, and I was like, it seems crazy to come out at the same time as all these big AAA games. And he said something along the lines of, I would rather be like the 25th best-selling game in the fall than like the number 5 best-selling game any other time of the year. Because it was so backloaded. Sales were so backloaded.
Yeah, it's not like that anymore, thankfully.
No, I don't think so.
But so more so than Goatee Watch, we had is this title going to be a Super Mario 64 killer, or is it going to be a Halo killer, or is it going to be is this the next Mario 64? Like that was like a big thing. Like I know when Luigi's Mansion came out, the GameCube launched, it's like, where's the Mario 64? Like that was a thing. Like,
yeah.
So it was a little bit different. There was still, I think, the same kind of discourse, but it wasn't just about Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. All right, let's finish up with, we'll do one more here. Let's do this one from hacker alias Annie Day Now, who says, thoughts on the announcement of the Xbox Ally handhelds. Did you see this announcement in the Xbox showcase?
I heard about it.
Basically, the ROG Ally, there's an Xbox model, 2 Xbox models coming out. One that is black styled with the Xbox button, and another that's white. And one comes with more memory, more RAM, larger hard drive, and one comes with a little bit less. I think it's cool if you're an Xbox gamer. Sure. Like, honestly, though, like the Rogue Ally, it's Windows.
Yeah.
Instead of Steam. And I'm just not sure. Like, I really like the Steam Deck in terms of it being a console-like interface. I don't want to futz with any settings or anything like that. Like, I'm a console gamer. The only reason I like the Steam Deck is because I can stay in that nice little protected walled garden ecosystem. And, of course, the people that want to, they can go out and do whatever they want with the Steam Deck, and they do, and that's great. I love it. I'm not as sure if that's possible with the Ally because it's on Windows, and because then you're reliant on Asus to make the front end be console like and keep that updated. And I'm just not sure that it would be something for me, but it's a cool looking device. And I think the portable PC stuff that we've been seeing now, the Steam Deck is a thing, and the ROG Ally, I think it's great. It gives players a lot of choice, which I think is perfect.
Yeah, I don't think I'll get one.
I don't think I will either.
But I mean, yeah, it's not bad that it exists.
No, I
Everything's
think
an
it's
Xbox, remember?
a great idea if you play a lot of games outside of the Steam ecosystem as well. Like if you really play a lot of Xbox Game Pass games on PC, then it's perfect. Or if you use the Epic Launcher a lot, then yes, it's probably better to be a Windows based handheld. Or if you don't do like a lot of if the battery life isn't a big deal, I think that also plays into it as well. Like the Steam Deck does an amazing job with battery life, in my opinion. So yeah, I think it's good that it's out there. I won't be getting one, but yeah.
Hey, listen, before we start the outro, there's one more we should do. Just because it's Father's Day.
Oh, okay. One more. All right.
So from Hacker alias Konami Code. What are your favorite gaming memories involving a father, either you and your dad or you and your children or child?
This is a good one.
Yeah.
I have fond memories of playing Dragon Quest Builders and Dragon Quest Builders 2 with my daughter. And before she could read, I would basically read out all of the dialogue in Dragon Quest Builders.
I love that.
That was a lot of fun to do. And she ended up playing it as she was learning to read. She would play it again, but like by herself. And that was a lot of fun to see her do that. And in a lot of games, I think Dragon Quest Builders 2 especially, we would go back and forth and do different voices for different characters. And that was a lot of fun.
I remember you describing that on the show when you were there.
Yeah, where she would do the female characters and I would do the male characters.
Yeah.
That was fun. Another thing, her first video game, she stayed home from school sick and we played Kirby's Epic Yarn on the Wii. And we really only played like the first screen or two of it because she didn't want to jump. She was afraid of jumping. So she just ran back and forth. And I had to like pick her character up and throw her over any obstacles that came up. And then there was just a point where we couldn't progress any further than that. So, but that was a lot of fun too. And that was when she was really young. But a good memory nonetheless.
What about anything with your dad? Anything?
My dad didn't play video games.
Right.
At all. Never touched a video game controller in his life. And yeah, that's fine too. But he's, supported a lot of the things that I did early on. Like when I started up a fanzine, he was like a big supporter of that and would drive me to the copy center to get copies made of my gaming zine, which then led to my working at EGM, etc. Everything else after that. So
that reminds me so much of, just to get off track a little bit here, Patrick Klepek's dad, who unfortunately is not with us anymore. But because Patrick Klepek, and a lot of people know who that is, he started doing video game press stuff very young.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the first E3 he went to, he wasn't old enough to go. And his dad went with him. And his dad patiently went with him on the show floor. And Patrick was doing interviews with people. And his dad was just there. And it was just like, I remember him doing that and thinking to myself, that's the way a father should support his kids. That was amazing.
That was my dad at the 1991 CES.
Yeah.
Summer CES. He went with me as well and didn't play a thing, but
he was there.
Followed me around the show. Yeah. He was there. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Phil?
Finn and I, we would play when he was younger a lot of Minecraft together. We had a world that we had set up in the game, and we would pop in multiplayer, and we would run around and just explore. We'd put it in creative mode so we could just, like I said, explore and just go flying around the overworld looking for interesting things. We would build elaborate structures. We would start. I showed him how to use all the different blocks to make like recreations of pixel art from various games. So like we still have these worlds saved, and we'll occasionally pop into them, and oh look, here's there'll be like we'll fly out to some specific area, and there's a gigantic sprite of Magikarp half poking out of the water, and it's incredibly huge in terms of the game world and stuff like that. So a lot of that kind of thing, and that was always a blast. And like I said, occasionally we'll revisit it and have fun remembering that sort of thing.
What about you and your dad? Anything?
He did not play games very much. He played Kaboom, and that was the one game.
We've talked about that before, and that's good taste.
Yes,
because Kaboom is great.
So, what about you?
With my kids, I mean, when they were little, we used to play a lot of Lego games together.
Oh yeah.
Which I always loved. Although I think CJ, you've talked about similar experiences too, where kind of what you were just describing with like the no jumping in a game, where I would definitely get in moments where it's like, let's just move on. Like this is taking so long. But no, as they've grown older, the thing that I really like, I mean, they're all being a gamer now is like games are so ubiquitous. So they all play games on their phones and they play console games, and we don't necessarily play the same games anymore. But the moments that I love is that are when they have certain games that they are passionate about and that they love. And I really look forward to the moments where they just want to talk about them. Just want to talk about what they love about them. Like I had a moment pretty recently where my son and I were coming back from some sports event, because that's what he does. And he just started talking about a game he was playing in the car, like telling me all the things he liked about it and what he thought they could have done better. And it was just really cool. I really enjoyed that conversation. For me and my dad was the same as you guys, where he didn't really play games. But I do have a really fond memory when I've mentioned this on the show before, when we were kids was when you could sort of find arcade games anywhere, like at the grocery store, or, like, and we used to travel a lot down to Maine and New Hampshire, and like you'd stay in a hotel, and like over by the ice machine at the hotel would be a random game, arcade game. And I remember anytime that it was 1942 or 1943 by Capcom, he would play it because he loved World War II fighter planes. It was just a passion of his. He loved the history of them. So he would always play it, but he never really played anything else. And he always would talk about how much he was worrying about me wasting my life playing so many video games when I was a teenager. But he was also very proud of the fact that he was wrong about that, and that I started a career in video games. But I do remember probably like, I don't know, 10 years ago now, we used to have a Christmas party here every year, which we don't really do so much anymore because so many of the people who used to come have gotten much older and some of them have passed away. And at one point, I don't know how we got on the subject. Somebody at the party was talking about how much they loved Tetris. Right. And like somebody who's like a generation ahead of me. And I was like, well, I've got like this, I think it was a Raspberry Pi or something. I've got this emulator box that I had connected to the TV. I was like, well, I've got Tetris on here. You want to play it? Sure. And I fired up Tetris, and a bunch of people at the party were playing it, and they were really enjoying it. But the thing that I loved was my dad didn't play it. But at the end of the party, Dad came to me kind of aside, and he was like, "Can you get 1942 on my laptop?" So like the next day I was loading an emulator with 1942 on his laptop and gave him one of my old controllers so he could sit and play it whenever he wanted to.
Oh, that's amazing.
And it was just like, yeah, very fond memory. So anyway, yeah, that's why I wanted to throw that one in there because it's Father's Day as we're recording this.
Alrighty, and that's it for our show this week. I don't remember what I say. Wow.
Well, it's been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks.
I mean, it's also been 18 years, but it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah. Alrighty, and that's our show for this week. There we go. If you have a question for us or like comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on various social media platforms like Blue Sky. Or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Stewart. You'll find Generation 16 episodes, and you'll find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about during this episode, and a link to our Discord server where we can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1 Podcast, or you can watch us live most weeks on, oh gosh, the YouTubes, the Facebooks, the Twitch.televisions. Just follow our Blue Sky account to find out when we are doing our next live show. Typically, not last week, but typically, it is Sunday evenings at 5:30, a specific time. So join us, won't you? And I'll tell you what, if you like what you've heard, and how could you, head over to patreon.com/P1 Podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. After all, I don't know. We'll take your money.
We will.
We'll take your money. CJ has elaborate hats to buy, apparently.
Well, this was a Father's Day gift.
I
from
don't
my
believe that for a
lovely
second.
daughter. It was.
You know what, CJ?
Yeah.
I was looking up. I was looking up a little bit ago.
Uh-huh.
The fine folks who make your hat, and apparently
Lots of licensed
many
hats.
of your hats.
Yeah, basically
This is
all of my
Overlord hats.
Overlord caps.
This is not
yeah.
a sponsored segment, folks.
No,
I was
but maybe
looking
it should be.
They have a wide range of licensed
That they do.
hats and
Love
a
their
ton
hats.
of Peanuts ones.
Yeah,
They have
fun.
they have a Peanuts hat on there they're selling for 300 bones.
I know
Jesus.
it's the Snoopy Samurai one, right?
Yeah,
It's a good looking hat. I'll tell you that.
$300.
It's a limited edition.
There's I think they said the 25 made.
Yeah.
So now I have to buy that to flex on you. I'm gonna
You
be
could
showing
if
up
you
next
want to.
week.
I mean,
But
you
like
can't
3
not buy
of
it.
those hats.
I
Yeah.
really do like their hats, though. I'm
Are
a
they good
fan.
hats?
They are good hats. Yeah.
Well,
They're
then
good hats. Quality.
get them to sponsor our show. Reach out to them.
I'll
Reach out to
try.
'em.
I bought a bunch of hats at this point.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
We will, of course, use your Patreon funds to keep streaming and all that. You know the drill. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, friendos, if you are a Patreon supporter of the $5 tier,
Cheap.
you gain special weekly access to a bonus episode that we record right after this, where we play games, crack wise, having fun, doing all the stuff we can't do on the regular shows. CJ,
Yeah. Huh.
you know, I know we were technically gone last week.
Yeah.
Do we have a game to play this week?
We do. We have a game.
Yay.
Oh, good golly.
I know.
What is it? You're so smart.
We have a game from our good friend. Well, second best friend now, I guess. Mike.
The second
Oh.
best, the second best mic in Nova Scotia.
The second best
The-
Mike.
what is it, like a Jeopardy thing or something?
It's a Jeopardy game. Yes, it's it'll take a little bit of explaining, but
Oh, dear.
basically we have to remember when certain events occurred and when certain games were released, and yeah, it's gonna be an interesting.
Is one of the
You
things
sound
we
really
have to
excited.
remember the attack on the World Trade Center? Because I do remember
Jesus.
that.
Wow.
I can remember when that happened.
I do. I remember the date and everything.
I do too.
It was a Tuesday.
We have good memories.
They Might Be Giants Mink car was released.
Yeah.
It was a morose trip to Best Buy
To purchase Mink
Mink
car. Yeah.
The purchase I did. Well,
I don't
please
think I
join
did
us
that
for
day.
that. I'm guessing it'll probably be more about video games
Yes.
and national tragedies.
But also tragedies. Or I'm not sure about tragedies.
On the game.
Events.
Oh dear. Well, who knows what this is going to be? Please tune in.
We have to
Patreon
guess
friends.
which of the 3 events named occurred closer to the release date of a console game, etc.
Oh gosh, so it is going to be something like that.
Then the console game, etc., was released relative to today. So there's a whole thing going on. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'll explain it in the after show.
this is going to get confusing. Anyway, please do that. And I'll tell you what, if you have a couple bucks left over, why don't you go to patreon.com/Greg Seward to help support Greg's outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thank you, Philip. And if you are a supporter of the $3 variety,
Also cheap.
did you get a Switch too?
No. I'm still waiting for my Amico. I vowed to never purchase another console
The Amico
until I
is the
get my Amico.
official game console of hell.
Yeah, oh, you bet it is. We're gonna be playing Evil Knievel and Shark and all your favorite in television classics here in the underworld.
I mean, you're making a pretty good case for it.
But my mother is very proud.
You get early access to all my videos, a 2-week early access to all my videos, but please go check out that page anyway, because I put in mostly weekly updates of what I'm working on and anything else that crosses my tiny little mind. So please consider supporting the show.
That sounds wonderful, Greg.
Thanks.
I think everyone should do it right now.
I agree.
Is that it then?
I think
Yes.
CJ,
Yaha.
congratulations on New Lumines.
Thank you.
Mhm.
What's the
It
full
was-
name again?
Lumines Arise.
we're done. Numinous.
Lumines Arise.
Lumines Arise.
Lumines Arise.
That's right.
Gregory?
Yo.
There we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip.
I have no congratulations to you about Reborn puzzle games.
Nothing worth
I'm sorry.
congratulating
Nothing.
you for.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You're still fine by me, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, a big old thank you to you, our wonderful, wonderful listeners, every single darn one of you. As always, please take care of yourself, your loved one, your family, your friends. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself, most of all. And by gum, we hope to see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Oh, wait, I should hit the end screen
Oh, for
button.
crying out loud.
Come on.
What did you do?